Hi, Bridget.
Hi.
Hi, Chris.
Can you hear me?
Here can.
Okay, I'll mute myself.
Well, only when you were talking. I didn't know if there was other background noise, but only when you were asking. Hi, Susan. And I see our presenter is here tonight. Great.
Hope I'm not too early.
You are right on time. You're just fine. We'll be starting here in about 4 minutes and we'll go from there.
Hi.
Sounds good.
How long is this meeting, do you think? Mark?
I was figuring about half an hour.
Okay, because I have another meeting I have to be at 6:30. So,
Okay. And we are recording, so if by chance you miss anything, you
okay,
can catch the tail end of it.
okay.
Evening, Ken. So I have a minute after six, so we're going to go ahead and get started this evening. Um, our guest presentation is with Erin Ragan. She is with the uh, Missouri Heartland Girl Scouts, and she can clarify that a little bit better than I just introduced. So I'm going to turn it over to Erin. The program is being recorded. We'll have probably some Q&A after at the end. So take it away, Erin.
Thanks, Mark. Like you said, I'm Erin Ragan. I am a volunteer support specialist with Girl Scouts of the Missouri Heartland. We are based in Springfield, Missouri, but I live here in Cape Girardeau, and I serve 14 counties in the Southeast Missouri area. Put together a PowerPoint to share with you all tonight. If you would like to see that, it features a lot of our local girls, photos of them, things that they've been doing, things they've been up to. And then I just wanted to talk to you all about our membership, what opportunities there are, sort of what Girl Scouts in our area do, and what they've been up to lately. I hope that meets your expectations, for our presentation. But just a little background, I ran into Mark at a United Way partner meeting, and we just started talking about, maybe it would be a good educational piece for CASA volunteers and those folks that are involved with that organization. So I appreciate you having me. And if you all are ready, Mark, I will go ahead and share my screen and get started.
I
Sound
think
good?
I haven't switched over to you or switched over to anybody. Um, it says you're screen sharing, so it's all yours now.
I just saw it. Now it's gone. Let's see. See if it's
Got
gonna.
it! Exclamation point.
Sorry, I missed that a little bit. There we go. Can we see it?
You can.
Great. All right. So we are Girl Scouts of the Missouri Heartland. Again, I'm Erin Ragan. I'm a volunteer support specialist for the Southeast area with council. Just a little, that's me there. My staff friend and I are chaperoning a travel experience in Savannah this past summer and just having a little fun there at the request of the girls. They said that they took this photo jumping in the air, so we had to take one too. And of course, we decided that we would amuse them and do just that. So we're going to start out with who are the Girl Scouts? In SEMO, we are Girl Scouts of the Missouri Heartland, so we are one of the regional councils under GSUSA. We have 73 troops serving girls ages K to 12 in 14 Southeast Missouri counties, and we have 7 local staff, myself in Cape, and in Perryville, Dexter, and Campbell. I'm really proud to share with you that we are the fastest growing area of council since 2022. Like many organizations, COVID hit us hard. We lost a lot of membership, but we're seeing that build back up, and we've added lots of new troops, lots of girls, lots of volunteers, or we've brought back folks that we lost for a couple of years. And then some popular activities for our area Girl Scouts are community service events, earning badges, their highest awards, of course, camping, participating in parades. They were just in the SEMO District Fair Parade a couple weeks ago, and having their parties, doing lots of fun things. So these are some of our newer girls. They're in Charleston having their bridging ceremony. Whoops, I went the wrong way. Sorry about that. Got a new mouse a couple weeks ago. So why Girl Scouts? I decided to pull some of these parts from one of our Girl Scout impact studies in 2017, just to talk a little bit about how our Girl Scouts are comparing to non-Girl Scout peers, and that we're finding that they happen to exhibit stronger leadership skills. They're better at making decisions, earning better grades, having higher academic aspirations. They're looking at careers in STEM, law or business, and industries in which women are underrepresented. And they definitely have adults in their lives who help them pursue goals and think about their future. And I feel like that has a lot to do with our volunteers. I'll talk a little bit more about them later. And then they're also going to be participating in fun and challenging activities to shape their character and open up new worlds to them. So we're hoping that, our Girl Scouts are able to have experiences through their membership that girls wouldn't normally have just through school or through other activities. What do Girl Scouts actually do? This is a question that I get a lot from someone who's never been in Girl Scouts, or they just maybe were in it for a year or two and they didn't have the full experience. But we try to always remind people that Girl Scouts are there to foster a true sense of community. They're there for service projects. They're there for troop and individual girl achievement. Definitely to build friendships among girls and adults, and to provide a space where girls can always be themselves. When you've got a space that's only for girls and they get to know their friends and they get to know their volunteer troop leaders, and other parents and people throughout the troop, they really do act like themselves. The reason that I chose to share this picture with you is I was honored to accompany some of our local girls to Savannah, Georgia, back in July, and I found this picture of some of our first Girl Scouts. And if you really take a look at them, you'll see them in there being themselves, giving smiles. Some of them look kind of tired. They've got that messy hair. They've been out there at camp and having a great time. So from the start, Girl Scouts has been a place where girls can really be themselves. Our Girl Scout program has 4 pillars: STEM, life skills, outdoors, and entrepreneurship. Those form the foundation of the Girl Scout program, and they work together to build girl curiosity, kindness, and can-do spirit. And we are really proud of those. I'm going to talk a little bit more about those throughout this presentation, just to kind of give you an idea of how those fit into what we do locally. Let's take a little break for a drink there. Just some basic facts on our Girl Scout program. We have 5 program levels. Our girls can actually join starting in pre-K, and then they can be there for the summer right before they go to kindergarten. They start out as daisies in kindergarten first, and they move up to brownies second and third, go on to juniors, cadets, seniors, and eventually ambassadors by the time they're in 11th and 12th grade. They don't have to achieve any of these levels before they can actually join Girl Scouts. If they want to wait until they're in 6th or 7th grade and join as a cadet, they can do that. They can catch up. They can just start where they need to start. Our annual membership dues are $25, and we also have financial assistance available for girls and adults. So with our financial assistance program, thanks to contributions from agencies like the United Way, local donations, we're able to offer that. We don't actually check finances for our members, do any verification. We're basically on an honor system. So that's something that we're pretty proud of, to be able to, offer that to the families that need it. And then our troops also earn money through our 2 annual product programs, which are Fall Candy and Nuts, and that's about to start, so our girls are all excited. And then, of course, the one everyone knows is cookies. When the girls earn their money, the money is for the troop. And then what the girls do with that is always by their decision. We try to always make sure that what they're doing is led by their own interests. So that's something that we'll start telling them when they first join, when they're daisies, that, this is your money, you earned it, you get to decide what to do with it. Gives them a sense of responsibility and also achievement when they earn through our product programs. Some troop activities. There's a lot. I won't list all these off, but these are some of our popular ones. Of course, camping is very high up there on the list. Our day camps and our field days. We have a lot of girls that are interested in STEM events, in travel, helping out with their family appreciation. We usually do something for grandparents, for mothers, fathers, aunts, uncles, everyone and anyone who is important in these girls' lives. We try to make sure that they are given the appreciation that they deserve. And then we do a lot of community outings with them. There on the right are some of our girls that are working on their silver award. Girl Scouts has 3 levels of highest awards. They have bronze, silver, and gold. So these girls are working on educating the local communities about flag etiquette, ceremonies, and flag retirement. So they've got that coming up in Perryville. Where do we meet? You know, when we get new members, people are always like, well, I don't know where to go for Girl Scouts. And we're kind of everywhere. So it's based on what our troop leaders want to do, where our girls feel comfortable, what's a convenient location for them. But they're always in schools, community centers, parks, churches. Some of our troops in this area have their own scout cabin. Charleston, Malden, Campbell all have their own Girl Scout room in a community center, or a Girl Scout cabin, which is normally like a community center in a park, but they call it the Scout Cabin. That's what it's always been called. So we're lucky that we have some community organizations that let us help out or help us out by using our facilities, and the Girl Scouts return the favor by helping keep up those properties too. We always leave a place better than we found it, we like to say. In Girl Scouts, I talked earlier about girl decision. We also encourage girl led. So whenever we are having meetings with our girls, the framework that we set out for our volunteers that we hope that they pass on, share with the girls, is that girl led is where it's at. So recognizing each of the girls' skills and abilities, giving things they can handle, encouraging them to brainstorm, asking questions, and making space for their input. So we're always hoping they're asking, could the girls take this on? And it's one of our troops down in Malden. They're getting things ready for a community dinner they just had actually this past weekend. Some more Girl Scout experiences. These Girl Scouts in this photo are in Kennett this summer. They were doing skits. Some of our girls are really into their performing arts, so Girl Scout skits and songs is always popular. Robotics, astronomy, and more. We try to offer council events that have to do especially with those 2 topics because those are popular with the girls. They want to know more about them. And that's always giving them that science part of that and the space that they can be themselves. So that's exciting for them. Outdoor experiences like hiking, horseback riding, fishing, paddling, of course, camping. And then our entrepreneurships captured in our product programs twice a year. We also teach traditions of Girl Scouting. We have exploration travel experiences, and we offer delegate forms of government to our girls. Some more about getting outdoors. These are particular to the SEMO area, although, well, camping on Girl Scout property is always free to our members throughout council. We have 4 camps throughout council, but the closest one to us is Latonka at Wapapello. And we offer outdoor training to our volunteers. We're getting ready to have that again in November. In outdoor training, we just teach our volunteers how to camp the Girl Scout way. So we do things like box ovens, open fire cooking, knots, of course, safety. And there's a special fund for girls in our area to attend events at Latonka that are hosted by council. We're always trying to promote more use of our camps. And there was a donation made to council some time ago that is there for girls that, you know, have that extra financial need, that want to spend time at camp. And if there's a fee that goes with the program that we're hosting there, we want to make sure that they can go. There's also 3 area summer day camps every year. We have one in Perryville, one in Kennett, and one in Cape. Those are put on by our service units. And if you've never been in a service unit or been familiar with that, those are the groups of our adult volunteers. Those are our troop leaders that make up a service unit. Some of our girls canoeing at the Elks Lake this past summer. Our community partner opportunities are always exciting for our Girl Scouts. So some of our local teams and organizations will have our special scout recognition nights at their ballpark. We've done partnerships with the St. Louis Zoo where they do an overnight. There's a water park event every year called Scout Fest at Cape Splash that the girls love. They can go to that if they do community service. And then we also often find discounts with partners on individual and group events for things like amusement parks. We have a lot of troops from our area that will sell cookies, and they will do their money raising activities, and then they'll get discounts to go to Branson or St. Louis or sometimes even Kansas City. So that's exciting for them. Museums will give discounts, and then other events. We have a lot of great partnerships with our local public service safety organizations like the fire departments and police departments that will give tours to our girls. Nonprofits will do the same, and then businesses that they're interested in too. We really like our community partners and those opportunities because they're family-friendly experiences. They're safe and they're just ready-made for the girls. This past summer, the girls went to Cape Catfish game, and our Girl Scout Nevaeh there in the tan in the middle got to throw out the first pitch. She also got to throw out the first pitch at the Mizzou game this past summer because she was our top cookie seller for the whole council. So she's done a lot of exciting things because of that achievement. Some safety aspects with Girl Scouts. Some things our volunteers know. Our volunteers go through quite a bit of training when they first start as a troop leader or they're a troop helper. So whenever we have parents that are frequently helping our troops, we'll ask them to sign up as a troop helper to make sure that they receive our background check and they receive some other training that they should have before they meet and work with the girls. But for example, our volunteers are always going to know our council safety guidelines for all the activities they do with the girls, what their supervision ratios should be if we have a large number of our younger girls. For example, if we have 16 of our kindergarten first graders, they're going to need like at least 3 adults that are registered background check to always be with those girls at all times. They know to make special sleeping arrangement assignments for our girls to make sure everyone's comfortable and safe when they do campouts or overnights elsewhere. They know how to make accommodations for special needs. They know how to follow progression guidelines. We don't really send young girls out on overnight trips unless they've already done a couple of day trips. They have a parent accompanying them on an overnight trip. So we have a whole progression that goes along with our programming that we like our volunteers to follow with our girls, just to make sure that, you know, the girls are always feeling safe and feeling like they can go to an adult and they know what to do and they know how to follow the safety rules. They're also going to be always teaching girls to plan within their troop budget, and then how they also know how to respond in an emergency. Some more about our volunteers. This is a group of people who are very near and dear to me because they sort of are out there just doing all the things. I mean, we have a lot of really great volunteers in the Southeast area. They are very good about teaching our girls Girl Scout traditions. They're very good about keeping the girls safe, being inclusive. They're just really important people. So I just wanted to touch on them a little bit and what they do. Juliette Gordon-Lowe is the founder of Girl Scouts, so I just wanted to share that little quote from her because they are inspiring people. As I mentioned a while ago, our volunteers do a background check with us, the criminal background check. They are certified mandated reporters. We have all of our volunteers re-certify every year with that child abuse prevention training. They also sign a volunteer agreement with a 1-year renewable term that's based on their performance as a volunteer and adherence to GSUSA standards. And then all our troop leaders obtain first aid and CPR certification within the first few months of being a troop leader. Their onboarding also includes a new leader orientation with myself or another one of our council staff. And then they have a set pathway for more online and in-person training. Through our online system, they can pretty much train at their own pace through any sort of Girl Scout element that they would like, whether it's like a program focus, even conflict management. And then we're also always there to offer that in person as they go and if they have questions. Some more opportunities for our volunteers. We also offer them youth mental health first aid training. This is a virtual course. It's a day-long course. We have a certified youth mental health first aid trainer within our council that offers that to our volunteers. They can get certified as a lifeguard, wilderness first aid. They can go on and do more outdoor skills and become a facilitator so they can actually help girls from other troops and anyone who signs up for a council event, teach paddling, archery, or ropes courses. They are invited to attend a recognition summit, an annual event to honor the work that they do, and then do hands-on workshops that are just for adults. So it's like a special event for them that lasts a weekend. Do that every year. And then they can volunteer in other ways. They don't have to directly be a troop leader. They can also just serve as like the finance chair for their troop. They can help out with our cookie or fall product program. They can teach Girl Scout traditions, which is, like I said, very popular with our volunteers. And then, of course, they get that absolute joy of leading their troop. We have quite a few that have been there a very long time. They started with daisies, and now some of their girls are juniors and seniors in high school. Or like our friend Robin here in the gray sweatshirt in the middle. She actually came up through this troop as a kindergartner, and she graduated high school year before last, and now she's a leader. So we love to have those people that stay within the organization, and turn that around and become a leader themselves. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned her. Some additional resources for our caregivers. I mentioned a few minutes ago that we offer financial assistance for membership, but we also offer that for uniforms and books. Our girls change uniforms every time they go up a program level. So what a Daisy wears is different from what a Brownie wears. So we know that, that can get expensive for a family. That can be a challenge. So we do offer financial assistance for uniforms for our families. We also offer that for council program attendance and for volunteer trainings. For example, our outdoor training, the training they need to take a girl camping, is $40, but it does not expire. But they can get $25 of that training cost covered. So we try to just keep those costs low for our troops and make that manageable for our volunteers so they can, have more resources to do things with their girls. The girls can also earn credit to help cover their costs for any council programs or their membership through the product program. So, for example, if they sell cookies, they can earn their membership cost for the next year. I wanted to touch on the life skills pillar. This is one of our four main pillars of the Girl Scout program, and all the focus that we've been putting on mental health wellness for our Girl Scouts. Through GSUSA, which is our national council, there is a patch program that has been very well received, very popular. It's really just downloadable online activities that a parent and girl or a troop leader and girl can work on together. And then through our council, we also have a spring membership renewal campaign that we do. And as the incentive for renewing early for spring, we usually renew all our girls in the fall. They will receive a girl mental health journal, some art expression activities, and just more of focus on paying attention to their mental health and making sure that it's where it should be. That incentive is going to return in 2025. So this is something that we're always talking with our girls about. We're trying to have open conversations about good mental health with them, trying to make sure that we offer experiences that are matching what their interests are and that are also healthy activities, both mentally and physically. I picked this picture because these are some of our girls down in Campbell, and it just looks like that's what they were up to that day. They were just out having a good time and taking good care of each other and taking good care of themselves. So if you all have any questions, I'd love to hear what they are. We offer registration online. We have Facebook page. And then I also wanted to include that mental wellness patch program. It's got free downloadable activities for parents and girls. If you know someone who would want to try that out and just see a little bit of what, Girl Scouts offers in that area, you're more than welcome to do that. I'm more than happy to talk through any of the topics that we covered this evening, talk a little bit more about what our girls are up to here in their photos. But I will just say that overall, we have a very strong group of Girl Scouts here in Southeast Missouri. It's a group that I'm really proud of, and that I feel is very welcoming, very inclusive. Just it's a great activity. It's a great thing to get started with. Personally, I was a Girl Scout. My daughter's a Girl Scout. It's just what we do. We love it. So got a lot of strengths, got a lot of good things going in Girl Scouts right now.
Okay, so time for a little bit of Q&A here. Um, I'll do the odd question here. So what sort of role do men play in within the organization?
Men can actually play any role. We have a lot of dads who like to come and help our troops. So for example, Mark, if you have a daughter and you want to come help her troop, you don't know, just checking. Or a little sister or a niece or someone, another little girl that's special in your life. You're more than welcome to come and volunteer. We accept anyone as a volunteer, anyone over 18. It does not matter, man or woman. We find that there's plenty for men to do in the organization. Actually, one of our staff members, Allison, um, her husband Justin, he comes to everything and he helps with everything. He's on duty when it comes to Girl
Period.
Scouts.
I have a question, but cannot tell if my audio is working.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Ken. I was wondering if you could go back uh, in recent years
Oh,
and
no, I
talk
can't.
about,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, what? Yes? No?
Can you repeat it?
I would love to.
Is my audio coming through?
Okay, it is now. It looked like you were speaking a moment ago because it was lit up green for me, but I wasn't hearing you.
Okay.
I
Uh,
can now.
Erin, I was wondering if you could go through recent years and talk about the reorganization and how Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, how they all mesh together now.
Well, as far as Girl Scouts is concerned, we remain a separate organization. Although the Boy Scouts several years ago began accepting girls as members. So that has, I will say, affected our membership somewhat. Since they have that option, it is sometimes easier for a family that has a boy and a girl to join that organization. I actually have a son that's in Boy Scouts and a girl that's in Girl Scouts. So interestingly, I feel like the programs they offer a similar experience to our youth, but we do remain separate, proudly. We do offer an environment exclusive to girls, other than our adult male volunteers, which are welcome. But we feel that continuing to stay that way is a way to offer that exclusive safe space to our girls. I hope that answers your question.
So how many cookies do you sell
Do I?
in general, the whole organization?
Oh goodness. The entire council, I'm not sure I know that figure. I do know our top seller last year, the little girl that I mentioned in the presentation, on her own, she sold 7,000 boxes of cookies last year. So yeah, that was and the year before that, she was also the top seller with 6,000 and some change. And through that experience, she earned a trip to Savannah, Georgia, to visit the founder of the Girl Scouts, and do the whole tour with that last summer. She's thrown out pitches at ball games. She's gotten a lot of recognition. She's been a pretty big deal. She also earned a trip to visit Boston this next year. So it's exciting for her that she's getting so many opportunities through the cookie program. She also just totally cleaned us out of every incentive that we have. So she's earned a laptop computer, gaming systems, shoes, all kinds of things. She's got all the things and earned a lot of money for her troop. That troop that she is in, they have about 40 girls here in Cape Girardeau, and they are highly active. They meet at Alma Schroeder School, and they do a lot of really great things. They've went on a trip to Chicago this past summer. They've really had a great time. They've had a lot of good experiences because of all the hard work of that troop. So, and we're happy to support them. Proud of them.
Aaron, uh, I know every program under the sun in recent years has had to really scale back and be very careful about things like physical touch, uh,
Mhm.
being alone. Well, we have that same thing. Uh, how has that affected your program?
Well, definitely mandated reporter, and that training is not something that I personally had. And I was a troop volunteer for 10 years before I started working for council. That was not something that I had ever been exposed to as a volunteer. Now, whenever I came to council, I learned that, and that was in 2022, I learned that I was going to be assigning that training and making sure that training was complete for our volunteers. Um, how it has affected us. Now, we have not had any reportable incidents through our mandated reporters. They have not reported anything directly to us, but them themselves being mandated reporters, I can't ever say that there's nothing they have reported, but not through our organization. They have not. It has been interesting to me how many people sign up with us as a volunteer and then they learn the requirements. And I don't think that one necessarily of being a mandated reporter is something that stops them and them saying, no, I don't want to do that, but they are a little bit surprised by it. They are a little bit surprised that, we are requiring a criminal background check, that we're requiring child abuse prevention training, that we're requiring them to sign an agreement. They're, well, oh, I thought Girl Scout volunteering was going to be easy. And I'm like, well, no, not really. Here's 4 hours of training for you to do right up front. And honestly, the people that aren't willing to do it, that weeds them out real quick. Because if they're not willing to do it, I cannot release them as a volunteer. I cannot give them any girls' names to contact or anything like that. So I feel like it's a great thing that we are doing it and offering that and making sure that we have that extra layer of protection and education for our members.
Now, thinking back to when my older sisters were Girl Scouts, it seemed like there were packs or something. What then? I think Boy Scouts issue to our or nomenclature, but as far as groups getting together, faith-based, meeting through the schools, or how is that all coming together?
Well, whenever I think I think I got your question. I think I heard that right. Are you asking like, are they okay with us meeting there, like as far as like religious
No,
organizations?
no, 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 no. Back when, at least whenever I was in grade school and went through Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts, I mean, we went through St. Vincent's and we had our own den and pack and whatever, but yet there were other groups in the Cape area. Um, and then I think we all met together at the big jamboree at the or camporee or whatever at the end of the year or whatever. But as far as, are you just like citywide type situation where you're pulling from all the different schools and all that, or
I
how's that all?
understand. Yeah. Yeah. So Boy Scouts, they usually have a charter set up with an organization, much like our pack has one with Grace United Methodist, the one that my son's in. With Girl Scouts, we don't do an official partnership or charter with any organizations, but we do have organizations that offer our girls space. The Elks is the one in Cape Girardeau that we use the most. not religious affiliated, but they are, very good partners for us. We use the Elks Lodge for a lot of our events. We use it for day camp. We count them as we just call them a partner instead of a sponsor or a charter member or a charter partner. The VFW is another one. They've let us have meeting space lots of times before. If we're going to work with a school, we're willing, or another organization, we provide a certificate of insurance to show that our members can have meetings there. If something were to occur that, we would help cover any cost of any damage or injury, something of that nature. But we don't actually have any like direct affiliation with our religious organizations or spaces or that we use. So the troops are attached to council. They're also attached to their service unit, so their group of adult volunteers. Like in Cape Girardeau, for example, our service unit, all of our adult troop leaders, they meet at the Elks once a month, and they kind of talk about like what's going to happen for Cape Girardeau area. Perryville, they work pretty closely with the people that have the seminary picnic grounds and the Perryville Senior Center. So they have a partnership there where they will use their space, indoor and out, for events, for meetings. So they're unofficial. We just depend on our volunteers to help us figure out when we need to provide that insurance, or that extra layer of, yes, that's okay. Here's the safety guidelines, things like that. I don't like ending with saying things like that because I know what I'm saying. Better words for it.
Any other questions, ladies?
What what kind of tools do you use to recruit?
We actually have our own recruiters that live here in the area. So we have two full-time staff members. One lives in the Risco area, one lives in Campbell. I'm sorry, Dexter. I always want to say she lives in Risco. They travel around to local schools. They go to back to school nights. They'll set up their own recruitment days or nights at the Cape Public Library, at local schools. I actually help with some of that as well. I'm going to be doing recruitment nights in October, setting up at the library or school events. We also ask our service units, so our adult volunteers, to hold a recruitment event for their area at least once a year. So our Cape area Girl Scouts just had one at Cape County Park on Sunday. They invited the community out for 2 hours, and they'll serve light snacks, and they'll just talk about Girl Scouts and put on. Usually, what they'll do is they'll have any of the girls that are interested in potentially signing up for Girl Scouts, they'll have them do like a sample badge activity with the current Girl Scouts. That way they can kind of see what sort of experience they'll have if they join the troop.
So if we know someone who might be interested in volunteering, what's that process? How would they go about that?
Sure. Well, all of our troops are in an online catalog on our website. They could go on our website and they can search for a troop in their area that needs volunteers, or they can just call us directly. We have a 1877 number for customer service, and they would call and say, I'd like to be a volunteer. Here's where I live. How do I get signed up? From there, that person will actually get funneled to me, and I will talk them through that process. They would register, so they would pay their $25, or if they would like financial assistance, we can provide that for them. And from there, I would take them through the training, ask them to do mandated reporter, to do a background check, to do all those onboarding tasks as a volunteer. And then once they were through with that, we would assign them to a troop to work with. I would put them in contact with the troop leader that needed their help. Or if they wanted to start their own troop, they can do that as well. To start your own troop, you must have two unrelated volunteers who pass all those requirements and at least three girls. So that's what makes a troop a legal troop in our eyes. It sounds a little complicated, but it's really just sign up online or call us and we'll take it from there. We'll help you from there. We always need more adults. We always have a lot more girls that want to sign up than we do have adults. Another thing, and I guess this sort of relates back to what we were talking about, like Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts. I won't say, against each other, but Boy Scouts now, and they have not always, um, at least up through fifth grade, requires a parent to always be present for any meeting, camping, event with the pack that they're in. Whereas Girl Scouts, since we have our process and we have our set ways that we work with our volunteers and our girls and the way we form our troops, we are still technically okay to do come to the first meeting, meet the troop leader, and you may drop off and pick up. So that though, it makes it a little more difficult to get and keep the adult volunteers that we need because we'll have parents sign up at first and they want to be interested and they want to help, but then when they kind of start being asked to do things, they're like, well, actually, you know what, if she could just come, that would be great, and I'll help you when you need me to help. um I understand, I'm a mom, but we also need those adults, and really some of our best volunteers, they no longer have their own girl in Girl Scouts. They had a girl in Girl Scouts once upon a time and they enjoyed it and they stayed. Um, and that's what they continue to do, and that's how they want to spend their volunteer time. So we appreciate them very much. Some of our most active Cape Girardeau volunteers have girls that graduated high school and college years ago. They're still out there being great role models, great volunteers for us, lifetime members.
What about the level of cooperation you get from the Cape Public Schools? Sorry, it's not a trap.
I'm so glad you asked. So there has been a change in that communication relationship since there has been some extra layers added to Cape Public Schools and the way they handle information. I don't think that it's any one person or any one department, but we have noticed that it is more difficult to get flyers into our schools for recruitment. But we feel like in the last year or so, we've been able to make some improvements there and strengthen that communication a little bit better. We do have good support from them. Like I said, we have a troop that meets at Alma Schroeder. Um, that's our biggest troop here in Cape. We do have some troops that meet in Jackson schools as well. And our schools are always receptive to us wanting to have troop meetings there. But to their credit, they probably get a lot of asks from local organizations about, will you share this? Will you tell them this? Will you do this? So we're just kind of one more organization within that whole group of organizations that wants their message out there and wants that membership. And we understand that. But we have noticed that there's been a little bit more, I will say a little less response um, than there was in the past. And I think COVID didn't help either with some of the information flow. So, but I feel like we do have good support from them as far as um and a good relationship with them as far as like meeting space and encouraging girls to do things outside of school. So that's good.
Anyone else for questions?
Erin, just one. Um, if there's a girl that does not have the means for either the annual membership or she's really not able to sell cookies or do some of the other fundraising events because of the situation that she's in, is there can she still go on camping trips and go to the parties and stuff like that?
Absolutely. Selling products is never required of our members. It's always requested to help support the troop. But in our area in particular, we do find that situation that you just said pretty often. So we do still offer financial assistance for memberships. We do not check family finances or their situational finances. We do cover that yearly membership for them. And we do again have a fund for girls in our area specifically that offers financial aid for them to attend council events. Um, our service units or adult volunteers, they actually also have their own financial situation where um, through money earning activities that the girls do and through our cookie program, they, for example, will receive, if they have 6 of 7 troops in their area participate, they'll get a bonus, a little bit of a bonus every year. They'll get a couple $100 every year. And they try to put that back into their programs. So in that situation, if a girl signed up, she used financial assistance, she did not sell products, um, and she still wanted to go to local events, she still could. It would take a little bit more communication on the part of the caregiver to us or to her local volunteers, but that's absolutely still possible for her.
Okay, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. We went a little bit longer than I expected, which is great. This is awesome. So Kim, Jill, Chris, Bridget, Susan, I'll go ahead and get your time logged into the system. Um, then, as noted, this has been recorded, so other volunteers will get a chance to look at it as well. And then I will forward your information, Erin, to them if they have any other questions, that they can ask you directly for that. So I definitely want to say thank you for being with us this evening and sharing your information with us. And I think it's been awesome. And I will bid everybody a great good evening.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.
Thank you.